So, just recently at some media scrum, I think it looked like it was some like power slap post fight press conference. A media member he asked Dana White about Islam Makhachev and what does he have to do in Dana's eyes to surpass John Jones's pound for pound number one? Because as everyone knows, Dana, who glazes John Jones, is upset about Makhachev being number one over John Jones. He disagrees with Makhachev being number one over John Jones. The reporter asked, what does he have to do? And Dana's answer, oh my gosh, it was so insanely biased. And this guy ends up bringing Alex Pereira into the conversation, which just further shows that this is just all favoritism with Dana White in his personal preference. He's not being objective here. Like, it amazes me how biased Dana White can be. Now, let's have a listen to what Dana had to say here when asked this question.
In your pound for pound list, he's number one. So, but on the paper, it's Islam Makhachev number one. What should Islam do or achieve to overcome John Jones in your pound for pound list?
Yeah, I understand. What should he do?
Yeah.
Just keep doing what he's doing. You just keep doing what you're doing. He hasn't done it as long as John Jones has, and he hasn't done it as consistently as Alex Pereira has.
Okay, now you're reaching, bro.
I mean, really, when you talk about now, if you guys argued with me and said, we think you're wrong, we think Alex Pereira is number one and Jones is number two, I could probably live with that. And I know it sounds like I'm shitting on him, but I don't. I love Islam. He's a great kid. He's a hard worker. He fights everybody. I'm just being honest.
It seems like...
And if you look at Pereira, he moved from middleweight to light heavyweight and has been absolutely dominant, a weight division higher. And he's even considering going to heavyweight. So when you talk about what pound for pound really means...
Does Islam not get more credit for beating Charles Oliveira, who is number 3 pound for pound, and then Volkanovski, who is number 1 pound for pound?
That's the perfect question.
Does that not put more weight? I don't think any of
He's
Alex's
asking the
wins
right
were
question
anyone
here.
ranked
Get
on
this
that.
man a raise.
Any of Alex, yeah, but he was fighting a guy a lower weight than him, not a guy higher weight.
Any guy a weight
when you
lower.
actually move up, when you think about what pound for pound means, right? What would happen if you weighed, 155 pounds and you faced a heavyweight? These guys are actually moving up in weight, not moving down in weight. And yes, Islam beat him in one of the fights. Many people thought that he didn't win that fight.
So?
With a guy who was lighter than him.
Islam seems to really want to go to welterweight, so would you give him that opportunity, maybe if he gets through this next one?
Absolutely.
And going back
Yeah, listen, and let me just say, you don't need to defend it. I love Islam. I love the kid. And I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying what the pound for pound really means is, if you look at what Alex has done. And again, John Jones, I mean, come on. John Jones is undefeated. He's never lost a fight in the octagon, ever. So it's just hard to fuck with.
All right, let me stop him right here. Let me stop him right there. Okay, let's break down what Dana White said. Okay, so Dana White, it's just funny to me how one of the reasons as to him discrediting Makhachev's win over Volk, not just that Volk was a weight class lower, but everyone thought that he lost the first fight. What does that matter when he knocked him out in the second fight? Okay, and okay, yeah, people thought that Makhachev arguably should have lost the first time, right? Islam at least has one of those kind of fights. John Jones, who you're biased for, has 3 fights like that where people thought he should have lost or were robberies, like Gustafsson, Reyes, and Thiago Santos, okay? And you're crapping on Islam's win over Volk because he's a weight class lower. But he didn't just fight anyone a weight class below. Are we forgetting that Alexander Volkanovski was a pound for pound great at one point in time? He was pound for pound number 1 and a dominant champion in a weight class below where he cleaned out his division, 5 defenses, hence why the Islam fight happened. And Dana, you made that fight for a reason, to see who the pound for pound best guy was. You were hyping this fight up like crazy. And now because Volk loses, and I know because you wanted Volk to win, Of course, you and the UFC wanted him as double champ. It was clear bias on your half. So the moment he doesn't win like you wanted, oh, he was just a lightweight. That doesn't matter. Okay. How many guys a weight class lower did John Jones beat? Let's see. So in his second title reign, when he got his belt back against Gustafsson, after that, his first two defenses were against Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos, none of them were champions, like Volk. And both of them, I'm sorry, I was kind of fans of them on the come up. I love Santos and I actually like Anthony Smith as well. Exciting fighters, but they're both scrubs. Okay, they both suck. They're both mid fighters. And they were only handpicked to fight John Jones for the belt because light heavyweight was such a weak division by the time John Jones came back after he got his shit together from all the suspensions. There was really no one for him. So Santos and Smith were fortunate enough to get title shots at John Jones at the time. But Volkanovski, again, he cleaned out his division at featherweight, so he earned a shot. And Volk, his first two defenses against Volkanovski, who was just a featherweight, by the way, there's more value in those than John's first two defenses against Thiago Santos and, Anthony Smith. And then, you're going to say that he fought someone a weight class lower, Makhachev, right? How many guys a weight class lower did John Jones fight? Let's have a look. So Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith, middleweights, former middleweights, Chael Sonnen, former middleweight, journeyman, if you will. I mean, I love Chael, but come on, he wasn't that good. Volk was that great. Vitor Belfort, middleweight, Rashad Evans, Lyoto Machida. I mean, they became middleweights after, but still, these guys are smaller than him. These guys are middleweights, okay? And these guys aren't half as good or as accomplished as Volkanovski is. So what are you talking about? Now, fair play, Pereira and John did become double champs in a weight class higher. Makhachev is yet to do that, but Islam has been asking you for years to move up and get a shot at welterweight, okay? You could have given him a title shot at Leon Edwards in 2023, but you chose Colby, who was undeserving of the title shot. And then, fair play, Bilal in 2024 was deserving and long overdue. But again, you could have made Makhachev Leon instead of doing Dustin versus Islam and Leon Bilal. That could have been the fight to make. And yeah, if he gets past Sarukian, you can't deny him of a shot to move up. But now let's talk Alex Pereira, because he's comparing him to Alex, saying he hasn't been as consistent as Poatan has. How? Alex Pereira is on a 5-fight win streak, and not too long ago, he got knocked the F out by Israel Adesanya. 2023 is not that long ago, okay? 1 year ago, he gets sent to the gulag, frozen like Elsa by Israel Adesanya. And then Islam Makhachev hasn't lost in like 9 years, and he's on a 15-fight win streak, okay? And Islam and Pereira have an equal amount of title defenses at 3. So how are you going to say that he hasn't done it as consistently? That makes no freaking sense. If they both have 3 defenses and Makhachev literally hasn't lost in 9 years, Pereira lost a year ago, 5 wins in a row, Islam 14 wins in a row. How are you going to look at those two and say, well, there's more of an argument for Alex to be number 1 over John than Islam? Really? Really? And then also, I know Poatan has activity on his side, don't get me wrong. But Makhachev has also been more active than John Jones since UFC 285. He's fought like twice since against Volk again and then Dustin. What has John done since subbing Cyril Gane in the first round, which was a great win? The way he won was amazing. You can't take that away from him. But what has John done? When you think about pound for pound, like Dana says, activity and momentum matters. And Islam has momentum. Now, yeah, if you take Islam out of the picture, I could see Poatan being number 1 over John Jones. But how can you say that there's no argument for Islam being number 1 over John, but there is for Pereira? What sense does that make? This just shows that he just likes Pereira more, and he likes John more. He loves them equally, okay? They're both his golden boys. So of course, he'll give Poatan a pass at being ranked higher than John at pound for pound, but not Islam, because Islam's not one of his favorite toys, you know? And I know the UFC didn't want Islam as champ. I know Dagestanis kind of get privileged, and Islam was given a premature fifth ranking spot off wins over Hooker and Bobby Green, which aren't really warranting of, being number 5 or title shots. But I know the UFC wanted Oliveira to win, and they wanted to do Oliveira, Volk. They wanted Charles to be champ again. Charles was their boy. Makhachev went out there and embarrassed him. And then they wanted Volk to be champ. Islam derailed that. It's like Islam wasn't supposed to be here. He was supposed to be the overhyped, loudmouth, overconfident guy that was supposed to be stalked by either Volk or Oliveira. It didn't happen. And I know Dana's not happy about that. And he's saying, I love Islam. I'm not shitting on him. Dude, you're shitting on him. And what you mean to say when you say you love him, you're just saying, I respect him, but he's not my favorite. And he's saying, I love him as a way to smooth his way out of disrespecting him. But it's crazy to me. How are you going to compare Alex? And Alex, his last title defense was against the number 8 ranked guy where he went life and death with him. He should have been fighting Magomed Ankalaev on that card. If he beat Magomed that night, then I could see why you would say he could be over Islam and John Jones. That would make sense. That's a better win than Khalil Rountree. Okay? But Islam's last defense was against the top 5 guy, Dustin, who's one of the best lightweights in the world. And then again, Volkanovski, an all-time great, was a dominant champion. Oliveira, the number 1 contender to become the lightweight champion, okay? And again, Islam hasn't lost a fight since 2015. Alex hasn't lost since 2023. Alex, 5 wins in a row. Islam has double the wins that Alex does. They are not the same. You cannot compare the two like that. That is ridiculous. And I love how that base reporter said, okay, but Alex Pereira, he did not beat top 3 pound for pound guys to win either of, he didn't beat top 3 pound for pound guys recently, especially at light heavyweight, whereas Islam beat Oliveira, who was 3, Volk, who was 1. Okay, Yuri was a good win twice. Jan was a good win. Hill was a good win. But they were nowhere to be seen in the pound for pound rankings when Alex beat them. So you can't say that Alex is above Islam and that he can be above him, but he can be above John, but Islam can't. It's dumb. It's mental. I can't say the R word, I'll get demonetized, but yeah. Dana's just reaching. He's just basically saying, my favorite fighters are Alex Pereira and John Jones. Islam can fuck off. That's basically what Dana White's trying to say, which his bias just annoys me, man. Like, I'm sick of Dana White. He's just not right in the head. Horrible take by Dana White. Horrible argument by Dana White here, okay? To disrespect the pound for pound number 1, Islam Makhachev. Like, come on. And then also, in terms of John Jones never losing, John Jones is like 27-1. And, okay, Hamill didn't beat him. He beat himself, but John got disqualified because he didn't know the rules and, threw a 12-6 elbow. So that in itself is a loss. You could argue that he lost to Dominic Reyes. Honestly, Reyes should have beaten him, if you think about it. Thiago Santos, there's a case for him as well, okay? And yes, he may have never lost, but he didn't win these last couple fights convincingly. He didn't beat Gus convincingly. John Jones, throughout his career, was juiced up. And I hate to be that guy because I do think John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. Despite the PEDs, Islam has never popped for people. He may have once, I'm not sure, but not as much as John Jones. So get out of here, Dana White, with your biasness, man. Screw off. But whatever. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of this whole pound for pound debacle and what Dana White had to say. Be sure to subscribe to my Patreon. I haven't posted on there in a while, but I'm going to try to be more active. And also follow me on Twitter as well. I'm going to try to post there more often. Like and subscribe, turn the notification bell, and yeah, thank you for watching.